Hey, hiring managers, HR professionals, and CEOs. Today, it's going to be a fun video topic. We'll be talking about confession of an HR pro, myths, truth, and office drama. So let's get started with this exciting video. So before we can dive into this video, let me introduce myself. My name is Ian Ali. I'm an HR advisor. I provide full recruitment outsourcing solutions and HR as a service. We work with Fortune 500 companies in the United States and around the globe. We've helped small to medium-sized organizations across the globe find talent and solve their HR-related issues. So if you would like to learn more about our services, my contact details will be shared on the screen. Feel free to get in touch with me. So let's start with debunking the HR myths. HR is a fun police. That's a huge myth. The job of an HR is to create a fun, productive workplace where employees are able to contribute to the overall growth of the organization as a whole, and has nothing to do with fun and games. Myth 2. HR is always on the management side. The HR department's job is to manage the balance that is between the management and the employees, and to make sure that the workplace is fair and equitable for everyone who works in the company. Myth 3. HR has access to your personal information. This is absolutely not true. Being an HR professional, you are tasked with protecting employee confidentiality no matter what the situation. What's more, HR only has access to information that you've provided upon being onboarded as an employee. Therefore, the access that HR has to your personal information is limited. Now let's jump to part 2 of the video. Truths about HR. The first truth is, yes, HR deals with a lot of interesting personalities, and this could be a double-edged sword, in my opinion. So what do I mean by that? You come across the perfect candidate, you submit that candidate, the candidate gets a job offer, the candidate never shows up for work on the first day. And you thought everything was perfect until it wasn't. You often get in touch with candidates that have amazing personalities. You have a really great conversation with them. They seem really interested in the opportunity I have for them. Everything goes well. They submit their application. And then when the employer tries to get in touch with them, they never answer back. It seems like they've disappeared from the face of the earth. The second truth about HR is HR has to make a lot of hard decisions. This is absolutely true. In my 15 years of HR career, I came across a lot of difficult situations, and I had to make some very hard decisions as well. When I was working as a corporate HR generalist a very, very long time ago, in fact, they ended up overhiring and overestimating how many people they required in the workforce. So we had to lay off a couple of new hires. These were people that were starting their career for the first time, and being fired 1 month after being hired, that could be a traumatic experience. So not only did I have to fire these new employees, but I also had to console them and give them hope that this is not the end for them. In fact, this is just the beginning. They will find a better opportunity than this one. And so it was never meant to be. Truth number 3, HR is more than just paperwork. When I was working as an HR generalist in a corporate environment, I was tasked with restructuring the whole organizational hierarchy. I also had to create new policies and standard operating procedures from the ground up. So as an HR professional, I had to do a lot of experimental work and stuff that I've never done before. I had to learn through trial and errors. Some examples of change management related projects that I've finished: restructuring the compensation packages, trying to make them more competitive. Other examples include creating new performance metrics, which meant that I had to redesign how we measure employee performance management. I developed an onboarding program where there was none before. And finally, I spearheaded an employee engagement program. Part 3, behind the scenes of office drama, the water cooler gossip network. This is true for every organization. This is called the water cooler gossip network, where a lot of information or misinformation spreads through the grapevine. You've all had some experience with that. So my job as an HR professional is to make sure that such information is stopped from spreading, especially if it's misinformation. The dreaded performance review. So when it comes time for the annual performance appraisal, this is a time of high anxiety, both for the HR and the employees that will be undergoing the performance appraisal. With every performance appraisal, I have faced backlash by employees. This backlash was mostly triggered by the salary increase that was determined after the performance appraisal. Nearly 90% of the employees that were appraised wanted something higher. But obviously, salary growth is directly attributed to company growth. And so when the company is not growing or is barely growing, organizations have to set a strict budget. The HR complaint hotline. When I was working as a corporate HR advisor, a lot of people came up to me to complain about the management, their supervisors, and how they were treated as an employee. Personally, I am not pro management, I am pro people. This means that when an employee comes up to me with a complaint, I don't blame it on the employee. I try to investigate what the problem is by studying the root cause of the issue. For example, if we've onboarded a new manager and this manager has around 5 subordinates that they manage, and maybe 1 or 2 subordinates come up to me and they say that they have an issue with this manager as they are receiving a hard time from them, I try to investigate this matter as quickly as possible. I try to observe what the manager does, how he behaves with his subordinates, and I try to dig as deep as possible to find out the root cause of what the issue is. Once I've determined the root cause, I go ahead and discuss the matter with the CEO or the director of the company. Typically, if a problem is not solved, it is eliminated. And in this case, this manager was such a problem. Despite being warned several times about his behavior, he did not heed to our warnings, and thus I had no option but to fire him. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment below and share your HR stories with me. I would love to hear what you guys experienced and exchange stories with you. Until next time, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with as many people as you can.